Hi, I'm Allison Cerra. I'm Vice President of Marketing, Communications, and Public Affairs for the Americas region. And I'm here in Columbia this week. I spoke this morning at an event put on by the Ministry of Telecommunications that's called Columbia 3.0, all about how this crazy, hyper-connected world that we live in is changing the way we live our lives and is affecting new commerce models, something that's been at the heart and soul of Alcatel Lucent for several years with our apps enablement strategy. The message that I gave to customers and media today is that we are primed for additional growth in this market. This market is in a unique spot. It has more mobile phones than it does inhabitants. It has mobile broadband penetration rates that are rivaling that of fixed broadband penetration rates, and it happens to have a favorable regulatory environment that favors broadband adoption and is stimulating that with incentives. So the message here has been that networks have a lot of value to add to the way we live our lives, to the way that we work, and by exposing intelligent network capabilities, as we've been talking about with our apps enablement story and strategy for the past several years, we have an opportunity to drive a larger ecosystem for growth that benefits end users in this market. We looked at Latin America as part of the shift. It was the second edition of the shift that came out in February of this year. Specifically, what we wanted to determine, the first edition of the shift showed undeniably that leveraging the network as a development platform, the heart and soul of what apps enablement is about, actually does generate incremental value into the value chain. We quantified a $100 billion market opportunity in the US alone. What we wanted to assess is, does that hypothesis prevail when you look at emerging markets? So we took the study into Latin America, into two markets, Mexico and Brazil, not the least of which is the two largest markets in the region, but also two markets at very different polar extremes sociopolitically. You have Mexico, that is the 12th largest economy in the world, yet 50% of its inhabitants still find themselves below the poverty line. Contrast that to Brazil, the 8th largest economy in the world, where 50% of its inhabitants now claim the middle class status. So what we wanted to see is, does apps enablement resonate in emerging markets at two ends of the spectrum? And what we found is that unequivocally it does. There are different network capabilities that resonate in the markets based on local or cultural nuances, but overall there's appetite for these network capabilities as seen by consumers, small, medium businesses, and developers.